Hi, welcome to Mrs. Mummypenny Talks, my podcast, which goes out every Tuesday. This week, I've gone back to the live format. You will have seen there's been a few interviews over the last few weeks that I've been putting out on my channel, but today, I'll explain in a bit, but you've got me talking. You got me with orange lipstick and an orange top. How well coordinated is that? So yes, welcome. Oh, and my nails match as well. How good is that? So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about my podcast and sort of the direction it's going in, and also give you a little bit of a life update as to what's been happening over the past week. I'm sat out in my garden. I've got a very old wooden table on my patio. You can probably hear some tinkles from my little wind chime thing, which I love. So hope that doesn't distract you too much, but if it does, say in the comment and I'll unhook it. Anyway, so what I think I'll start off with is my past week and just some of the thoughts that have come to mind. I have some notes and yeah, just what I sort of want to talk to you about really, because we're in week 30. Last week was week 13 of lockdown. Okay. Now, lots of people are starting to join. This is good. Last week was week 13 of lockdown. So yeah, it's crazy. We've been in it for a very long time, and it sort of felt like last week that things were starting to get back to normal a little bit, back to the new normal, because I don't think things will ever go back to how they were before March the 23rd. So yeah, certainly around here, I don't know what it's like where you live, but so the shops have opened. So John Lewis opened, and I actually went to John Lewis on Saturday, and my friend is a stylist there, and she'd put some clothes aside for me, so I went and got a few bits of clothes. So that was really nice to go into a shop. Massive queue to get in, like massive queue, but it actually went down quite quickly, and there was lots of hand sanitizer, and it felt really calm in store because there wasn't that many people. Anyway, I chose the bits of clothing that I liked. She'd already shown me on an Instagram video conversation, and I chose the bits I liked and brought them home to try on. You're not allowed to try on clothes in shops at the moment. So of the I bought 11 things. 5 things either weren't right or didn't fit, so now they've got to go back, and I either just completely take them back or change them for a different size. So it's a bit of a convoluted process, but I didn't choose the clothes in the first place. I had somebody choose them for me based on my body shape, style, colours I like. The brief I gave her was I needed some stuff for, like, I just needed multi-purpose stuff that's great for, dropping the kids to school as well as rushing off into London to go and do my meetings that might be with a bank or an insurance company or, I don't know, Aldi or something. So yeah, those kind of meetings require different types of clothes. You can't really rock up to a bank wearing flip-flops and a short skirt. So yeah, so I've got some really, really great clothes. I've got some gorgeous culottes. I've got a really nice bomber jacket, and they were all in clearance. So I saved an absolute fortune. If you want to go see exactly how much I spent, go read my spending diary post that I published yesterday, and you'll see what I spent. It's quite a lot. It's more than H&M, but I'm really happy with what I've got. So, and the other thing I must say is I had the money in the bank. I didn't go into any debt to pay for the clothes. So if you have the money, then please go out and spend, because the small businesses and the high street needs money to be spent. So yeah, and the other thing I've done is I'm now booking holidays, UK holidays. I'm sticking to this country because, again, I think this country needs the money to be kept in this country. God, that's That's just my personal view. You might have a different view. But anyway, I've booked a week in Norfolk in July with the boys. Not long to wait for that. And then I have booked a week in the Isles of Scilly in August, where I'm going with my friend Neil. Airbnb type places for both of the holidays, although I know the owners of both of the properties, so I've got a bit of a better deal than Airbnb. Hey. So yeah, I'm starting to spend again because it's time. But yeah, tell me what your thoughts are. Like, are you gonna start spending now? Are you gonna go to shops? I know a lot of people aren't because they can't cope with the anxiety of going into shops. And of course, 4th of July is a really important day for a huge number of businesses. So there's reports today that museums and cinemas are going to be able to open from the 4th of July. So that's going to be really interesting. Obviously, hairdressers can start working, beauty salons. So I've got a whole host of, because this is I mean, I've done a pretty good job, but this is, well, no, look at that. That's terrible. I've tried to do my own nails. I've got my own gel kit at home. But yeah, I'd much rather a proper nail person did my nails. So, yes, all of that sort of stuff opens on the 4th of July. So make sure you got your appointments booked. I tried to book a hair appointment, but the first appointment I could get was August. So I'm just going to carry on doing my own hair myself. So I need to do a colour job because the roots are very bad. I've certainly booked in for a Reiki massage, and I've booked in to have my nails done, and I've booked in to have a colonic. So while we're on that subject, let's talk about detox. So I am now detoxing. As you all know, I've been quite poorly. If you've watched my Instagram talks and posts and stuff and post on my blog, I've been quite poorly with rashes. Doctors thought it was shingles originally. Turns out it's not. It's more like psoriasis type rash. I've been bruising really badly. I've been getting spots. I've been really tired, and yeah, lots of physical things have been happening, which is basically just a release of pressure after everything's ended. So my decree absolute came through the end of May, so I am now legally divorced, independent of anybody else apart from my children. And yeah, I think it's just my body's way of saying, let's just chill and relax and let it go. So but I'm feeling much better, like much better. Over the past week, I've had so much sleep. I have had some amazing conversations with really supportive people. I've been sent so many messages by so many people. It's been absolutely amazing. I am hugely grateful for all the messages you've been sending me. It means the absolute world. I can't say that enough. So yeah, I've decided to detox as well. So this was from Saturday onwards. So Saturday was my last day, where I had a bottle of champagne. Thank you, Marianne, for the bottle of champagne to say congratulations on your divorce. So I had that as my last drink, and I had a really lovely cheese board because I went to a shop in Hitchin and got some beautiful cheese. And I made my last supper a really nice one. And then from Sunday, I'm detoxing. So that basically means no alcohol, no caffeine, no dairy, no sugar, no gluten, no meat, no acidic food. So it's 7 things that I'm not having. And it actually leaves quite a lot of food I can have. I know it sounds quite restrictive, but honestly it does. Like brown rice. I am going to still have fish, because I think that's important for protein. But like tofu, I love tofu. I'm making this really gorgeous like vegetable curry tonight. I went and got loads of really amazing fruit and veg from the farmers market on Sunday in Nebworth. And yeah, I'm gonna do it because I need to. So yeah, that's basically my life. What else did I want to talk about? Talked about spending, talked about therapy. I've come up with some new rules. New rules meaning new boundaries. So I'm having quite a bit of therapy sessions at the moment, just to help sort of process all the stuff that's happened over the past year in particular, because it's been basically the worst year of my life. And I'm trying to process the last 16 years, to be honest. And my therapist is really helping, and she suggested last week that I needed to come up with some new boundaries and new rules. So I've come up with some new rules about sort of relationships, about parenting, and about work. So my work boundaries, and this is also partly inspired by a conversation I had with Bola Sal. Bola is this incredible black blogger who I've been friends with for since we started. I'm going to say like 5 years. And we had a phone conversation the other day, and she was telling me about all the boundaries she'd put in place, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, she's even gone to the levels where she's got 2 different phones. I was really impressed by it. Anyway, that sort of planted the seeds, and then my therapist sort of repeated the same message. So my rules, I'm not going to share all of them, but in particular about work, I'm going to be very strict about my working hours. I do start very early in the morning. I start when I get up at about 5-6 in the morning, and I get a lot done before the boys get up. And then I like to try and switch off work once they're up, although it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and obviously they're here and I'm not with them, but I will be done by 12:30. So yeah, my new rules are strict working hours, weekends off, no work at the weekends. As in the laptop shuts. I suppose I might do a little bit on my phone, but we'll see. When I go on holiday, laptop will not be going on holiday with me, and I'm going to say no to a lot more things. So anybody that sends me a little email saying, oh, I just want to have 15 minutes of your time just to pick your brains, no, I don't have the time. I've got 3 children. I want to spend time with them, and I want to look after myself. I'm sorry, but I don't have 15 minutes to give to you, unless you want to pay me, and you can pay me for my time. That's fine. I want to be producing content for you guys that, follow me on my social media and read my website. I don't want to be giving away all that time to people that, are setting up companies and they just want to pick my brains, and they're not necessarily going to give me anything in return. So yeah, new rules. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to implementing them. Sort of a soft implementation this week, and I'll go for it next week, because I had some things in the diary this week. Like, I've got one of those, oh, I just want 30 minutes of your time meetings. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I listened to this most amazing podcast this morning, which I've put it on Twitter, but I want everybody to listen to the podcast. So Damien Fay from Money to the Masses, his podcast is extremely well established in the financial podcasting world. So if you search for Money to the Masses on all the podcasting apps, you'll be able to find it. And his latest episode is focused around Black life economics. Now, it's like half an hour. It's only half an hour of your life. If you're only going to listen to one podcast this week, this month, or this year, listen to this podcast. It is incredible. I can't remember the stats. You need to listen to him to hear some of these statistics. But he's talking about these things like the level of salary that a black male gets compared to a white male, how different it is. He's talking about how the percentage of social housing, how many black families are in social housing compared to white families. He's talking about social mobility and people moving between social mobility, in old-fashioned words, is sort of moving from working class to middle class. And he's talking about how that's a lot harder in the black community. He's talking about things that happen in the black community that aren't so prevalent in the white community. And actually I had a similar conversation with Bola as well the other week, that there are a lot of younger black people who are having to pay their parents' bills and their parents' mortgage because their parents aren't able to. Damien spent a lot of time talking about house ownership and the creation of wealth, and how that's all sort of breaking down at the moment. So just to give an example based on my life. So I didn't have any wealth passed down to me from my parents. You can read about it on my blog, but all the money I have created for myself. But this is the norm for like black families. Wealth is not being passed down the line because they tend not to be homeowners, and a lot of our monetary value sits in our homes. Certainly a lot of my money wealth is sat in these bricks behind me. So I will have a legacy to pass on to my children. But yeah, a lot of black families don't. So just listen to the podcast. It's incredible. And he's put some clips in it. This such passionate speech from a woman in America last week. And then he put in another clip of this US sports race where the coach is talking to the children about things that hold you back in life, depending on the colour of your skin. So yeah, listen to the podcast. It's really, really good. Did I say that enough? Listen to the podcast. It's Money to the Masses. You can find it. Just search for it on all the social media channels and you'll find it. Or look on my Twitter because I shared it not very long ago. And then I just want to talk a little bit about the interviews I've got coming up on here, because you're not going to see much of this me just talking to the camera on a Tuesday lunchtime. What I am doing from now on, I love interviewing people. I really love interviewing people. So that is how this format's going to roll from now on. So people I've got coming up, I've already mentioned her, but Bola is going to be a guest on the show. I think I'm recording it next Monday, so hopefully that'll be ready next Tuesday. I was meant to be interviewing Georgie today, the business owner from the Yoni Oracle cards, but a bit of a huge life thing has happened to her, so she's now unable to do the interview, so you got me instead. But she will do the interview at some point. Then we've got Cedric Manager, I love saying his name, from Pago FX, which is a new foreign currency transfer app brought to us by Santander. I interviewed him last week, so that interview will be ready next week. So that actually means that Bola will be the week after. You can see I haven't quite worked out my schedule. Like, I've got these interviews lined up, I haven't necessarily worked out when I'm going to publish them. And then Helen from Scummy Mummies is going to come on and be interviewed as well. And we are going to have a chat about separation and divorced life. So that's going to be a good one. Right, that's all I'm going to say. I've just kept it to under 20 minutes, so that's very good. Hope the dingy-dongy of the wind chime wasn't too annoying. Hope you found it quite relaxing. And I will see you again soon. I'm doing I do the odd Instagram live, normally on a Friday or a Saturday, just so there's a couple of little videos of me. Although this is on Facebook, isn't it? But yeah, if you've got any questions, send me a message. I'm open to hear about what content you want written about and who you want me to interview. My interviews are going to be a brilliant mixture of men, women, big companies, small companies, old, young, black, white, Asian, gay, straight, bi, whatever. I'm just going to talk to everybody and keep it balanced. So that's enough from me now. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.